Straight into things with our panel, Chief Executive at the Page Research Centre, Gerard Holland, and Canberra Radio 2CC host, Stephen Senatiempo. Thank you to both of you for joining me. Let's start with this YouGov poll conducted for Sky News. It's found the overwhelming majority of Australians believe the Albanese government has poorly handled Islamic extremism and anti-Semitism in the wake of Bondi. In fact, 62% of voters said that Labor has badly handled it. Gerard, these are pretty damning results.
Well, Danica, by choosing to make this issue about the weapons that these terrorists carried out their attack, as opposed to the extremist ideology that motivated them, essentially what he's saying to the Australian people is that there very well likely is others in our community who would like to carry out similar sorts of attacks. And rather than removing them from the community, we're just going to try and remove one of the weapons that they may try and use. And then at the same time, by rushing through these very poorly worded hate speech laws, he's essentially criminalising everyday Australians' ability to talk about and criticise the kind of radical Islamist ideology that allegedly has inspired these attacks. And I just don't think Australians are wearing it. I think Australians are seeing the bollards go out at our Christmas fairs. They're seeing New Year's celebrations get cancelled. We are aware of the heightened sense of tension around the likelihood of further violence, and we're looking for a leader to step up and to protect the Australian people, his first and fundamental responsibility, and not run cover for ideologies that he either does not understand or is deliberately burying underground at great risk to the broader Australian public.
Absolutely. It's all about fake solutions to the actual real problems. Stephen, majority of Aussies are frustrated. What's your reaction?
Well, look, there's a couple of things for this. When you talk about Islamic extremism and anti-Semitism being handled badly, they haven't been handled at all. So I want to know who these idiots that actually think the government's doing a good job on this are. There's no surprise that the majority of Australians think that it's been handled badly, because since the October 7 attacks, this government has stuck its head in the sand when it comes to anti-Semitism. It's stuck its head in the sand when it comes to Islamic extremism for even longer than that. But the reality is that, yeah, as Gerard says, all of the solutions are just window dressing and band-aids, trying to make it look like they're doing something because they're afraid to address the real issue here, and that is Islamic extremism. This is the greatest example of political bastardry I've ever seen in my time watching politics, that for rank political opportunism, they've put a certain section of the Australian public at risk, that is the Jewish community, but in reality they put all of it as at risk because they've been ignoring a problem that's been staring us in the face for years and years and years now, just to win votes in certain parts of Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah, look, I completely agree. And the more they tiptoe around it and put in these fake solutions, I think that more and more Aussies are waking up to it and saying, no, we need to get to the root cause. It's time our leaders be strong and come out and condemn it. And Anthony Albanese just hasn't done that. Let's talk about this academic who openly celebrated the Hamas attack and called for the end of Israel. She's now had her $870,000 taxpayer-funded research grant restored. This is Dr. Randall Abdel Fattah. Her grant was frozen for 11 months pending an investigation, but the Australian Research Council lifted it last night. Here's a reminder, this is the same academic who just one day after Hamas terrorists used paragliders to attack Israel and slaughter Jews, changed her Facebook profile to depict a paratrooper in the colours of the Palestine flag. The day after Christmas last year, on her X account, she said May 2025 be the end of Israel. She also helped organise a kids' excursion to a pro-Palestine protest at the Uni of Sydney, where young children were filmed chanting Intifada. And Gerard, $870,000 of our money is being returned to her.
Our money, and this is, I think, the crucial point. It actually comes to what your previous guest, Matt, was saying in that previous segment around the ABC. This is our money that is being used to spread this kind of hate. And the fact that a cent of Australian taxpayer dollars is going towards this kind of anti-Semitism, or any of the casual racisms that have just slipped into our university sector, the amount of anti-white rhetoric, be it the white privilege narrative or DEI that intentionally discriminates different Australians based on their physical characteristics, is just completely beyond the pale. And I think Australians are sick of it. We don't want our money going towards it. If as a private business, a private entity, they want to fund this nonsense, go for it. But Australian money, it's just unacceptable.
I completely agree. Stephen, that's a lot of money going to an academic who's made those sorts of comments. I don't think it passes the pub test. What do you think?
Well, I mean, forget about passing the pub test, but if you want a royal commission, we need a royal commission into our university system. There's no two ways about that because, I mean, it has become now an indoctrination system and an opportunity to sell degrees overseas rather than to educate Aussies. That's the problem. And when we've got academics like this, I want to know what academic value there is from any of this person's work. I mean, particularly when you outlined her list of sins, but this is not just Macquarie University. This is every university across Australia now. And the irony is the only person that's actually trying to fix any of this is Bill Shorten, who's now the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Canberra here in the nation's capital, who is saying, well, enough of these echo chambers. We need to actually open our universities up and make them centres of critical thinking again. But where is the direction or where is the leadership from the Education Minister on that? And as I say, I think I've been calling for this for about 2 years now, a Royal Commission into our university sector, not only because our universities are all going broke and they can only make money by selling degrees, but we need to get back to the core of what university is about, and that is educating Australians, and we don't do that anymore.
No, we don't. And this is why we need a royal commission into this crisis so we can figure out exactly what happened from the beginning. Gerard, Holland, Stephen Senatiempo, thank you so much for joining me. And I mean, you at home recall yesterday the Coalition released a draft terms of reference for their royal commission. And one of them included university sector, the media, the arts sector. I mean, these are all areas that need to be looked at. This can't just be a small scope of inquiry, an internal one. It needs to be broader because these are the issues that we're facing.